And now let me speak as a grandmother. I have a 14-year-old grandson who lives in Dallas, Texas. My family is supposed to come here this summer, so my baby can come to Flint. My son will have to stop in Oak Park. They will have to sleep in Oak Park so they can shower and cook with the water. As a grandmother, that breaks my heart. They will either have to rent a car or I'll go get them and have to bring them to Flint so they can see my home and they can see Flint. But I can't let my baby stay here in Flint because I can't let him be exposed to the water. I don't want that 14-month-old baby being exposed to the conditions of Flint. So as a grandmother, my heart is breaking. But I guess I have two questions to ask. Number one, who pushed the button? Who gave the okay to push that button? If you're going to be an adult, you need to own up. Man it up. So who gave that permission to push that button? And then who got paid under the table? Because I promise there is money being pushed under the table. And those are the two questions that I truly want answered. But somebody got paid. Someone got paid to poison 99,000 people. And we need answers, and we need something to happen right now. We don't have time to wait. So that's the concerns I have, and that's what I want the people across the country to think about. And as they hear these things, these different things happening, just know, as I told the governor's cabinet, look for the injustice when there's a problem. Look for the injustice of what's going on to people. Don't turn your nose up at people who may be disadvantaged. Every story has a story inside. You need to look for the injustice that happened to the people, and then you can relate to what they're going through. You don't look at the color. You don't look at the hair. You don't look at the pocketbook. Look at the injustice, and your answers will be found there. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to ask, what do Flint mean to you?
Flint means a lot to me. It's my city where I was raised and born. Flint is like my everything, you know. It's like the backbone to me as a person. And I just feel like if I wasn't born and raised in Flint, and if I moved somewhere else, then I wouldn't be the individual that I am today. I wouldn't have the backbone that I have. I wouldn't be as tough as I am. I wouldn't be able to carry myself the way I carry myself as not only an individual but as a young lady as well. So, Flint. When I first found out about the water, it was more so I didn't really comprehend it because a lot of people downplayed the situation. They didn't make it as big as what it really is. Because at the end of the day, this is an epidemic. It's like this is something that's nationally known. This is something that people all across the U.S. know about, and not only the U.S. but in other countries as well. So when I first learned about the whole Flint water situation, it was downplayed a lot. They was like, oh, it's just you got to boil your water first, or you can only drink with it sometimes. They didn't make it as big as what it really was. And when I learned how big it really was, and how I learned that it was bad to even brush my teeth, wash my face, cook with, even with boiling the water, it was just like an eye-opener. Like, wow, like who's the one like responsible for me not being able to make me a hot meal, or brush my teeth with the faucet water, or bathe in the water, like soak my body inside the water. Like it took me by surprise a lot. And like I'm more so worried about the younger generation.
What does Flint mean to me? Well, it's actually many things. All because we are stereotyped. That doesn't really affect me. Like I know at the end of the day that I have to be positive and just push myself and know that eventually I will make it out. It was the capital of Buick and GM, and so that's a very important factor, you know. So that's one positive thing. But there are also many positive things like athletics, education. Like even though we have many corrupt systems, like the government is one. This like the Flint water crisis is one that shows it because it indicates it. But at the end of the day, like we just have to stay positive. That's all we could do. Well, oh, well, this Flint water crisis actually reminds me of a book that I read for my DP class. It's called 1984 by George Orwell. And we are basically what the book is about is like we are brainwashed for things, and like it's just like one leader just leads everything. Like you don't get to say anything, and that's like that's a very huge connection, you know. And huge connection. Like when I read that book, I had to do an IOP, and I just thought about like I could have like used that, like incorporate that in my studies, in my presentation, and like when I found out that it was lead in the water, like I didn't know. I was just like I was astonished, like lead, like I just and like when it was reported, I really didn't know anything about it. Like I was just eventually I knew like about like how harsh it was, but then at that moment, like when I first found out it was lead in the water,